First things first, I wasn't too wrong about the earphones. They don't look fantastic, they don't sound too fantastic either. Now when it comes to this smartphone, first of all, wow, the rear of the smartphone is crazy, and secondly, there are three main things we need to talk about regarding the phone, namely the body, the camera, and the power. So the first thing you're probably going to notice, the colours. Now these are the primary colours of the Barcelona FC Football Club because it is that limited edition and they look incredibly eye-catching. The contrast is so much, it's almost too much for a lot of people, but for me personally I think it stands out quite a lot, saves you getting bored from your phone. It's also got an engraved gold logo on the back, as well as gold accents on the rear separating the blue and the red, as well as the front just around the screen. When people see the Oppo R11, a lot of people draw parallels to the OnePlus 5, and I can definitely see where they're coming from here. But actually in terms of body, I'd say the Oppo really wins this one. Not only is it noticeably slimmer, but it's also a little bit lighter too, and compared to the OnePlus, this difference is game changing. All of a sudden, instead of feeling like a slim phone, it almost feels like a piece of paper. A really sharp one though, because the body has almost no curve. Now the other thing I thought was really cool is the UI. The entire thing has been customized, from the icons, to the sound effects, to the wallpapers. The camera setup on the Oppo R11 could be one of the highest resolution. The rear cameras are the same as the OnePlus 5, 20 megapixel plus 16 megapixel, and the front camera is also a 20 megapixel deal. This guy is packing serious resolution. Shutter time is pretty great too, and those dual cameras do a great job of blurring out the background. In fact, I'd go as far to say this is one of the most seamless dual camera experiences I've ever used, simply because opening up the portrait mode, there's no extra loading times, the photos snap very quickly, and it's very good at detecting objects, even complex ones like a camera. One nice thing here is that you can apply the depth effect to objects any distance away from you, unlike the Galaxy Note 8 for example, where you have to be standing 1.2 meters away from the subject. The only potential downside I'd say to the photos is often they do come out a bit overexposed. Video is sharp, it's colourful, and it's fairly well stabilised. There is no optical image stabilisation on this phone, but it does have some pretty decent electronic image stabilisation. When it comes to the front 20 megapixel camera, you can really tell this is one of the key selling points of the phone. Whilst I'd say it does over-beautify the face just a little bit, it does capture a lot of detail and even creates some nice bokeh effects, which you don't tend to see on a front-facing camera. The R11 also has a pretty advanced expert mode, which allows you to tweak lots of lighting settings, as well as giving you fine manual control. Now under the hood, we've got a pretty interesting deal here. We've got 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, but as well as that, the brand new Snapdragon 660. And with this chip, Qualcomm has seriously bridged the gap between its 600 series and its 800 series chips. The 660 is quite a bit faster than the 653, but is still not quite as efficient as the 835 because it's based on a 14nm process. The phone does produce very fluid gaming performance. I didn't really have any problems at all, except for the very occasional hang. A couple of games I tried for some reason just out of nowhere completely stopped for a few seconds. Not a deal breaker, but pretty annoying. Now because the phone is so slim, the company's only managed to fit a 3000 mAh battery inside. The display is really rather nice. It's a 1080p 5.5 inch AMOLED panel. It does support microSD card ports, 4G in most regions, and also has Android 7.1 underneath. So that is the Oppo R11. This is not by any means a full review, but it is an interesting insight into the smartphone and what it's capable of. For the most part, it has upper mid-range specifications, upper mid-range capabilities, but in a body that will dazzle you. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.